Okay, my Straight Talk family, it's time to start moving on. And we are not going to stop now. What we're going to do is to extend a very pleasant night to everyone in St. Kitts and Nevis and everyone throughout the entire Caribbean region, or I should say everyone throughout the world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and touch you wherever you are connected. And I trust that my Straight Talk family is getting more and more people connected. Just share the link, because lots of people want to know what's happening in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they want to know the truth. And Straight Talk is a public service program, and this is just for the first timers in particular, that facilitates. It's a program that facilitates and promotes all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. And let us in the process strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that enviable position of being number one in the world, or one of the freest countries, I should say, in the world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations, because with responsibilities come obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I am recommitted each time to being an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And by that I mean nothing is watered down in any way, shape, or form, whether by omission or exaggeration to make it more interesting. In other words, Straight Talk is not about being sensational or creating excitement at the expense of accuracy, because I consider it my bounden duty to always present the unvarnished truth, always present the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in my country. And I always tried to bring my young brigade along, young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin Hanley, and Juanito as well. And I am always duty bound to reach and touch a special lady, that special lady in St. Louis. I promise she's going to be on Straight Talk sometime sooner rather than later. And we will know who this special lady is in St. Louis, my Straight Talk family. And normally we have our observations in review. And we also do have each time a short dissertation, a thesis. And tonight I've titled my thesis, The Basseterre High School, a Ticking Public Health Time Bomb. And we'll get into the discussion right after we look at a few observations in review. And our observation in review is that particular moment in time when we highlight the issues of the day. And we do some reflection in the process as well. We may have raised a few questions before. And we try to establish what was accomplished, how has it helped others what has changed since and what can be expected next. Also, what new we have learned as a people. And in our first observation, I wish to refer to our cruise sector, our cruise ship sector in St. Kitts and Nevis, and in particular St. Kitts, and to inform you, my Straight Talk family, that after a long drought in cruise ship calls at Port Zante, the Caribbean Dream arrived on Saturday, the 28th at daylight. That's the 28th of October. And it departed. It departed just after 1700 hours on the same day. And we caught it, Straight Talk caught it sailing out of the port, as you can see. Lovely ship, Caribbean Dream. But since the change of administrations in August 2022, tourism has taken, I should say, a deep dive under this new leadership, this new administration. And having benefited from the hard work of her predecessor, the new tourism minister has now started, or continues, I should say, to apportion blame on climate change and those who went before her for the current dismal state of the local industry. It is anticipated that the grassroots economy will suffer immensely from the drastic decline in the cruise sector or cruise ship calls, which we once boasted over 1 million passengers way back in 2017, 1.2 million in 2018, and up to 1.1 million passengers, cruise ship passengers in 2019. But the Minister of Tourism reported on Thursday the 26th, that these figures have been reduced. She expected, as she said, just over 8,000 cruise ship passengers.
For the upcoming season, we're poised to welcome a total of 342 calls, bringing a capacity of 857,488 passengers to our shores.
And my Straight Talk family, with that fall off anticipated at approximately 300,000 cruise ship passengers compared to 5 years ago, taxi drivers or ambassadors, as I call them, hair breeders, and restaurant owners are demanding explanations for this dilemma in tourism, especially in light of the fact that nothing substantial has been derived from this excessive travel by officials since taking office in 2022. And in the meantime, Straight Talk prays. We pray for improvement in this sector, which accounts for 25% or more of our gross domestic product, GDP. And we know that the CBI is under some stress in more recent times. CBI accounts for about 35% of our GDP. So between these two sectors, in terms of foreign direct investment coming from the CBI, and if you combine that with the tourism in our sector, that's about 60% of our GDP. So, when you hear our Prime Minister talk about polycrisis, we ask ourselves if he's prepared to deal with this polycrisis. I, in passing, listened to the former Prime Minister, his presentation in Parliament in terms of consumer protection, and some legislation was passed. Today I can't speak about it because I didn't really research it. But things are not looking well in this country, my Straight Talk family. And my second observation refers to the Prime Minister, Dr. Drew, who has the sole responsibility for appointing ambassadors. But he has failed to inform the nation about the exact disposition of our UN ambassador, who, according to the communication that we released, Straight Talk released last week, Thursday, we released a copy of this diplomatic note, SKNM 029/2023, and dated the 20th of October. And in that note, we were informed that the ambassador's tour of duty has ended. But there's no explanation from Dr. Drew in respect of what does this mean for the ambassador as it relates to her role within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and or the government of St. Kitts Nevis, for that matter. Last time Dr. Drew told us she was on vacation. And having read that note and the results in relation to her tour of duty being ended, then we take for granted that due process, according to Dr. Drew, was undertaken. But we await an update. We do await an update from Dr. Drew, who, as I said, is the only one who appoints ambassadors. But in the interim, in the meanwhile, we wish Ambassador, or the former ambassador of the UN, well. We wish her well in her future endeavors. And our third observation is congratulatory in nature, in that we must recognize 17-year-old Jazara Claxton, who starred as the West Indies A team, completed a 2-1 series win over Pakistan A team on Sunday last. And my Straight Talk family, we extend kudos to young Jazara, 17-year-old Jazara Claxton, who was in fact named the player of the match, having picked up 4 wickets for 19 runs as the West Indies A team limited their Pakistan counterparts to 163 all out in 44.4 overs. Zara was the pick up the bowlers for the West Indies A team, and as I said, was the judge player of the match. So Straight Talk sends congratulations to Jazara Claxton of St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And our final observation tonight is in the form of a notice. in relation to the PLP barbecue, which was planned for last Saturday and postponed because of inclement weather. And we are informed that this barbecue would now be held on the 18th of November. So put that date in your diaries. And we are told that tickets can be obtained from PLP leader and former Prime Minister Timothy Harris and his executive. So mouth-watering barbecue postponed until the 18th of November, my Straight Talk family. That will be fun, I'm sure. And those are my observations for tonight. I wanted to expose the snake in Nevis who was caught lying, and I thought I would leave that until Thursday night, my Straight Talk family, because I ought to deal with it in a more detailed manner. And you know, it is said that a liar has no memory. His actions really prove that. The epitome of a liar who really lost his memory. But those are my observations in review tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I move right into my thesis tonight, which, as I said earlier, that I have titled the Basseterre High School, the BHS, the Basseterre High School, a ticking public health time bomb. And my Straight Talk family, it is said that doctors are the gatekeepers of healthcare and are really identified as a cause of its problems within the health system. But who would believe that after 11 years, the Basseterre High School saga has not been settled? And the Federation got a stark reminder of this from a regular caller to most, if not all, the talk shows in the Federation, whose name is Carl Brown. And Mr. Brown reminded the host of this talk show that something at the Basseterre High School, in his words, are not settled. That's what he said.
Nobody discussed about the Basseterre High School.
What about the Basseterre High School?
Well, our Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah, he said that he was going to bring it back, yeah.
Yes, he's going to build it back on the same ground. But, Juni, we all have to face the fact something there is not settled.
Something weird.
At the Basseterre High School is not settled.
And according to Brown, and many agree, many concur with that position, some things are not settled at the original site of the Basseterre High School, our alma mater. We've heard stories of contractors getting ill during the demolition process. We have not heard much from the Minister of Education. But much to our shock and dismay, we were told by the former Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Patrick Martin, that there was no problem at the Basseterre High School. And further, he went on, it was a manufactured issue. Do you believe that, my Straight Talk family? We don't fabricate things on Straight Talk. This is what transpired.
What is it?
We had two organizations come in here and they did not find what was causing the problem there.
Because there was no problem. Because there was no problem.
So why the school had to shut down twice, Dr.
It was a manufactured issue, sir.
Oh, it was a manufactured issue. So all those people manufactured those things. All those doctors manufactured.
Which doctors? Which doctors are you talking about?
All the doctors that those people, students and teachers.
No. I was chief medical officer at the time.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So what's the question? So what's? No, you didn't work under me. Nobody worked under anybody. So what's the question you have for me about doctors reporting?
The question is, all those students and teachers manufactured their sickness.
There was no doctor reports of substance filed with the chief medical officer's office.
No doctor's reports of substance, listen to his words carefully, filed with the chief medical officer's office. But I admired Carl Brown because he was not swayed, and rightly so, while insisting that there is work to be done. And that the former chief medical officer, Dr. Patrick Martin, in Carl Brown's words, could not be serious. You can't be serious, Carl Brown said.
Dr. Martin, you really serious saying that today on the radio?
You want me to repeat it in French?
Repeat it in any language, but you cannot be serious with what you just said, dear Dr. Martin.
Oh, so you know something differently then? Tell us.
Hmm?
If you know something differently, feel free to correct it.
You can't be serious.
No, goodness.
All I'm saying is
you can't be serious, it's not correction.
Let us bring in an organization to test up there before we
That was already done. That was already done. Three organizations. Local, regional, international.
There is work to be done.
Oh, okay. So you're not accepting the reports. Okay.
He can't be serious, said Carl Brown. He stood his ground. And many are standing ground with Carl Brown. Because this Basseterre High School issue may be a laughing matter to some, but it is serious and must be taken as such. How can we forget the trauma? How can we forget the emotional shock endured by students, their teachers, and administrative staff and parents of these students during the stressful period at the Basseterre High School? And different parents came from different perspectives, like this one, whom I know very well, my Straight Talk family.
I have two daughters that attend the school, Mr. Liburd. And if you can recall, when I spoke about the recommendations before the school was open, I was very nervous, as if something was about to happen. Because I would have had a second daughter that would have enrolled in that school. And lo and behold, it's the second one that attended the school come September last, that came down with some of the symptoms, the rashes.
My Straight Talk family, one parent compared her child to a walking time bomb. My Straight Talk family, do you believe that?
My child was one of those who had actually everything that was dished out. He had the rashes, the sore in the mouth, the headaches, the red eyes, the chest pains, you name it. Took him to the doctors. When they did some blood work, the enzymes in the liver and the heart was sky high. I had a walking time bomb. I get very irritated. This is not something I want to deal with. I don't like to speak about it. I have pictures of my child. I would like somebody to speak to me about it. And I need to know, 5-10 years down the road, that my child come down with something. Who can I turn to? Who would be responsible for the situation? That's my concern. That is my issue. My child's health and welfare. I've spent plenty because it's my child.
Like a walking time bomb, that parent said. So my straight talk family, this, what can we call medical contempt, demonstrated by Dr. Martin in the face of sound evidence, in the face of facts, also spilled over into what appeared like personal assaults towards the children and teachers who suffered for nigh 3 years in what seemed like a gaslit chamber that dispensed nauseating fumes that made them sick. Dr. Patrick Martin now serves in his new capacity as medical advisor to the Prime Minister and Minister of Health, which makes one wonder if that's the only way he can justify his over $120,000 salary from the taxpayers' money. In my introductory remarks, the point was made about the gatekeeping role of doctors in healthcare, my straight talk family. But one may argue, my straight talk family, that the duty of doctors is exclusively to individual patients. And putting this into context, in this case, the sick students and teachers, and not to the entire school population. But in the case of Dr. Martin, he was the government-paid chief medical officer. Worse yet, since the change of administration in August 2022, he came out or was invited out of retirement and is now paid thousands of dollars by Dr. Drew as some special advisor to the Minister of Health. For those reasons, and in the gatekeeping context, it has become quite clear that the trust-based relationship between students and teachers who were obviously falling ill at the Basseterre High School, also the trust-based relationships between the parents and Dr. Martin, has been completely eroded by his economic position and no doubt his party politics. And sadly, when we discuss the lack of credibility and distrust, our political leaders all come quickly to mind. Even some of us who respected Dr. Martin over the years. And I remember my stint as a host of Voices for years. And I referred to him back then as the Voices Doctor. I enjoyed inviting him to the program and having what seemed back then his honest and straightforward, his forthright attitude and utterances. But we are all puzzled by his recent, seemingly reckless statement that seems so wrong and or mistaken about the Basseterre High School issue. And Dr. Martin in this issue was way off base. And many wondered whether he is this academic as he professes to be, or he is a genius simply trying to distract his opponents, or he's an outright liar, or just a dangerous, incompetent, retired pediatrician. And I find it difficult to accept the latter because I know him. My Shrezok family, all doctors, we are told, are bound by a Hippocratic oath. And this oath is an ethical code attributed to the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates. It was adopted as a guide to conduct by the medical profession throughout the ages, and is still used in the graduation ceremonies of many medical schools. Various versions of this code have been handed down through generations of physicians. And even as we speak, the oath still includes promises to give sound health advice, and doctors pledge to refrain from causing harm or hurt, also to live an exemplary personal and professional life. My Straight Talk family, but it's the confident and forceful rebuttal statement of fact that was advanced by former Basseterre High School principal, Mrs. Carlene Morton, about a crisis in credibility. And this should force us to examine the root cause of this credibility crisis. Because when all trust in each other is gone, when we would have lost trust in each other, I'm afraid civilization will go with it. There's much talk about building resilience in our modern high-tech federation, but no one person can do it alone. We rely, for example, on civil engineers, whom we trust to have the expertise required to build out and maintain our infrastructure. We rely on farmers to grow our food. We rely on teachers to educate our children. And we rely on doctors to heal our sickness. But what can we do when that trust is gone? Our democratic system must be one that values everyone, not just those in the political majority, or those that subscribe to a preferred ideology. And that is why there was public consultation under the Team Unity Administration on this very important issue, like the relocation of the Basseterre High School. And decisions were made based on science and not on party politics. They all came out to the Newtown Primary School, or the Tucker Clark Primary School, I should say, to be correct. They asked their questions, they voiced their opinions, and they got responses from professional people, local and overseas. Now let's, for a moment, examine closely. There were millions of dollars spent by both the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, or the the Douglas Labor Administration, I should say, and the Team Unity Administration to relocate the Basseterre High School. And well over $25 million have been already spent. A site was selected based on the advice of 5 or 6 trained water and civil engineers who served in different administrations, in some cases under PAM, NRP, under Labour, and under Team Unity. And this advice came from, as I said, local and foreign environmentalists and hydrogeologists, along with many other stakeholders. Ironically, the current water engineer and manager of the Water Services Department is the only, underline, only trained hydrogeologist, along with an experienced, I should say, hydrogeologist in government. And he had this to say about the site that was selected. This is what Cromwell Williams, the current engineer and water services department manager, the only trained hydrogeologist in the government. And he had this to say. Listen carefully, my Street Talk family.
Our advice to the cabinet was that, given that the Ponds Estate site is at least 1,000 feet downstream of the closest well, which is designated well 148, and furthermore is in an area of the Basseterre Valley which was never used for potable water extraction and is very unlikely to be used for potable water extraction, coupled with the use of modern wastewater technology, this site does not present a danger to the potable water supply.
I believe I should replay that sound bite. Again, he is currently serving as the due administration's water engineer and manager of the Water Services Department, the only trained hydrogeologist in the government. And he did his master's thesis on the aquifer. He expanded upon then Dr. Christmas's PhD during his master's. And this is what Cromwell Williams had to say about the site that was selected by himself and other engineers. My Shuttok family, this is what he said.
Our advice to the cabinet was that, given that the Ponds Estate site is at least 1,000 feet downstream of the closest well, which is designated well 148, and furthermore is in an area of the Basseterre Valley which was never used for potable water extraction and is very unlikely to be used for potable water extraction, coupled with the use of modern wastewater technology, this site does not present a danger to the potable water supply.
How much clearer can we get on that issue, my Street Talk family? But you know, lots of people are so disingenuous and they are blinded by their politics, because there are so many buildings that are on the aquifer and are in proximity to the site that was selected for the Basseterre High School, or the new Basseterre High School, I should say, at Ponds Estate. A team Unity approved upon the advice of the experts. The current Minister of Education, Jeffrey Hanley, lives just about less than 100 yards, I should say, across the street, across the road from where the site was selected. This is his house, a stone throw from where that site was selected, my street dog family. Just across the road, as I said. Other commercial buildings are in proximity to the site. This one, for example, Couri's Wholesale, is right next door to the site selected for the Basseterre High School. Plus there are other commercial activities. TDC, Home and Building Supplies as well, just across on the same aquifer they're talking about. Plus there are other commercial activities, as I said, already in the area that do not, underline, do not and will not impact negatively on the aquifer well field. I should make that point, my straight dog family. But Labour spent millions of tax dollars, Team Unity as well. But the fact is, my straight dog family, still, poor children have no school for nigh 5 or 6 years. It is the politics of Labour and Team Unity, I may add, that keeps getting in the way. And that is so sad, my people. Very, very sad. But who in his right, or who in his or her right mind could think about just demolishing the old buildings and reconstructing the Basseterre High School on its original site? Put your politics aside and respond to that question objectively if you can. But there's just one answer, and that is, who, I ask, in his or her right mind could think about just demolishing the old buildings and reconstructing the Basseterre High School on its original site? You know the answer. Only a slow student, my straight dog family, only a slow student, only a doctor who graduated from a university that he did not attend, only a self-confessed slow student who miraculously is now the Minister of Education. Only he can make such a decision, my straight dog family, a slow student.
Look at me, comrade. I told you how I started off as a slow student. I went to 1A4, 2A4, 3G7, 4G6, 5th form, 5G6. And guess what? I repeated. So I was in school for quite a while. But look at me today. Bachelor's in psychology with a minor in social work. Masters of Education. Another master's degree in political and organizational psychology. And I would have been in a program for quite a while, since 2005, I'm not ashamed. And in 2016, I was offered the opportunity of getting a PhD.
my street dog family, only a slow student would reconstruct any building on a proven contaminated site without a thorough soil and environmental analysis and without dialogue with the youths, the appearance, and of course the teachers, administrative staff, and the wider community, I must say. But those of us who do not recall 2012, 11 years ago, my street dog family, it was when the health-related issues surfaced at the Basseterre High School. And instead of finding a solution to the health problems faced then by over 800 students, teachers, and ancillary staff, the unelected and unelectable Minister of Education then, Nigel Carty, reacted in this way, my street dog family.
Importantly, the Whitaker report noted that although teachers may in fact have been physically affected, some of the effects were psychological in nature. To us in the ministry, as to any reasonable and objective reader, it simply highlights the fact that we as human beings are all psychological beings and our experiences impact upon our perception.
How do you interpret that, my street dog family? Psychological. Was Nigel Carty saying that students and teachers were crazy? His then cabinet colleague, Marcella Liburd, now Her Excellency, Governor General Dame Marcella, who was Minister of Health at the time, was also in total denial when she said this, my street dog family.
Following recent media reports of Basseterre High School students being hospitalized because of health-related illnesses, matters that are related to the labs at the Basseterre High School, as Minister of Health, I asked the Chief Medical Officer to investigate and provide information to be passed on to the general public. On Tuesday, 20th November, the Chief Medical Officer reported that a search of the hospital records dating back to February 2012 found no cases of hospitalization associated with the Basseterre High School lab matter. No unusual or increase in those who presented to accident and emergency from that time to present with any matter related to the labs at the Basseterre.
My street dog family, in many ways, or in several ways, I should say, the manner in which the Jew Labour administration has acted since assuming office in August 2022 reflects a sense of the Apostle Paul's prophecy of the end times, when people would heap up teachers for themselves who will teach them things they want to hear instead of the truth. And that's found in 2 Timothy verse 4, 3-4. His warning is very similar to Isaiah's prophecy, describing people who only want to hear things smooth to their taste, even if what they hear is ultimately untrue. And if we read from 2 Timothy chapter 4, the verses I just alluded to, they read, and I quote, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables." My street dog family, I therefore conclude that reconstruction of the Basseterre High School on its original site may appear to some to be irresponsible policy decision. It may attract support in the short term, but in the fullness of time, it can be, or it can prove to be, I should say, the most imprudent decision that was ever made. And I submit in closing that unless there is a consultative process that includes all stakeholders, from education, health, environment, social development, water, sustainable development, and public infrastructure, and others. Also, a full, complete, and independent scientific analysis that is far removed from politics. I am afraid, but truth be told, the Basseterre High School could be a ticking public health time bomb. My Street Dog family. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. Tell me what you think as I open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. If you are so minded to call my Street Dog family, the numbers are 646-829-6672. That's the overseas line. And the local line is 869-663-6672. My Street Dog family. I always like to implore you before I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily. Respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us, in saying and doing those things, ensure that they are beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 4 before the 9 o'clock hour, I go to the lines and say, caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Badgett, good night.
How are you, my brother? Good night.
I'm fine.
It's the Bible man. Yes, how about those?
Yes, I have something to tell you tonight. A lot of people playing God in St. Kitts. And they must be careful. God do not make folk. There was a king in the Bible that God set up to be king. And God really give them the kingdom. And they started to get beside themselves. And God said, put one to eat God. God put the next one because he was way in the balance and found one thing. And a lot of people not supposed to know if they read the Bible. So they don't read the Bible, so they don't understand. But when you are going to come and tell a lie that you do this and you do that, well, me know that you not do nothing. Because the Bible told you that man is a failure. Man is an helpless. If God not put the hand there, God, everything flat. Mr. Patrick, the reason why I'm saying this, that nobody in this world could set up kings and bring down kings. Nobody. And people are saying it to themselves. When I hear them, I say, my God, you laugh after them there. That is in Psalm 75. When God says, He put up and He put down. And He tell you, He said to the wicked, do not deal foolishly. And He tell them, and so I am saying tonight, Mr. Patrick, because I ain't got subject a lot of time. I am saying tonight, people must stop the foolishness. Because if God opened their hand, I am the God. God is a jealous God. And such people must stop the ignorant. They never put up nobody and they not pull down nobody. They must stop it. They are trying to fool poor people. And so I am saying tonight, and I'm warning the people who going around and radio station and all kind of things. Stop. Say them kind of thing. You apply God, and God can deal with you. And I'm saying tonight, Mr. Patel, whatever man sow, he can reap. You see, Mr. Patel, when we hear people, and because of a little dollar, you want to bring them down. But God wants to, what is profit a man if he can gain this whole world and lose his own soul? Mr. Patrick, the last thing I'm going to say, the word of God says, empty hand you come and empty hand you go. You could get all the money. But listen here, when you're dead, you not carry your thing with you.
Okay.
And so, tonight, I am thanking God. Mr. Patrick, have a pleasant night. I ain't gonna bother.
Thanks a lot for your input, my dear brother. Didn't give me a Bible verse tonight. I don't know why. But let's go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Hello, Patches.
How are you, my brother?
How you doing, man?
I am peaceful. Sounds like my brother in New York. My brother from a mother.
Yes. I'm great, Patches. Glad to hear your voice. Good to see you, man. You look bright, boy. What are you eating, man? I want to know what you're eating, boy. You're looking good, boy.
Just have to be contented in life, my brother.
Okay, that's all it is, man.
Little things, you know.
Okay, yeah. That's great. My main concern tonight is that my beloved brother, Michael Ibu Cooper of Third World, Jamaica.
Okay.
I want to say my condolence to the whole family of Third World.
Yes.
And all the people thereof throughout the whole universe. And, you know, he's one of the reasons why I'm here in America today.
Yeah.
I remember when I left St. Thomas, I slept on the airport in Kennedy Airport. And the next day, I went to Bermuda and we had 3 shows over there. So I'm a great love of Third World, and they made me what I am today. They gave me strength and health, you know, of being a man, you know. Sit down throughout the night when we were there. We sit down every night after the shows and every night before every day before the shows. It's like we never slept.
Okay.
And then after I left Bermuda, I came to New York and I went back to St. Thomas after a little while, and then I came back to America. But there was one who persuaded me to be here in America.
Okay.
And I would like to say my greatest condolences to the whole family of the Third World people. And for the universe, I like to say, heartfelt feeling. We missed a great man.
Yes, we all do.
And and for the people of Mona College and and all those people he left and went and taught music. So my condolence to them, and love Ibu. Love to Ibu, brother. And our beloved brother here in Carrot. Third one was 6 brothers when I met with them. You know, we had the 3 shows in Bermuda. So my name is Waldy Selassie. They would know Waldy. The Jamaican public will know Waldy Selassie as an Orthodox member. And for the people in St. Kitts, know me as Izulu. My family, Izulu, and the people in St. Kitts will know me as Selvin.
Selvin, that's right. We know you as Selvin, Zulu. Lots of
original dread.
Yes, lots of people don't remember those days back then. They Selvin.
Yeah, I sit down with Bradshaw and talk about let's make dread a good opportunity. Give them a good opportunity.
yes, those are the days, my brother. But nice to hear you. We share your sentiments in terms of the loss of Ibu.
Yes, sir.
Third World.
He was a great man. Great man.
It's still a great group, we should say, as a matter of fact.
Yes, and all my brothers, them, and Bunny Ruggs, he was gone there too.
Yep.
You know, and I would like to say, hold on, Willie. Yes, you know.
Well, nice to hear, my
hold
brother.
On, Third World.
Hope that all is well with you. Right?
Yeah, I'll take a trip to Jamaica soon to see them rest, you know.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah, thank you for everything, you know.
Always a pleasure, my dear brother.
All right, you stay firm, man. I'll see you soon.
Looking forward to that, my brother. Okay.
All right, stay strong. Say hello to Jasmine for me.
Will do. I'm sure she's listening.
Can I call you for some soft cake and some Johnny cake, man?
Okay, my brother. Will do, my brother. Have a good night, my brother. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
And yes, thanks a lot, my brother, and thanks for your intervention. Remind us there about the demise of Third World's Ibu. And if you just joined us, our thesis tonight, the Basseterre High School, a ticking public health time bomb. We can go back in the days when the former principal told us about the ambulances.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Carleen Henry Morton. I was the principal at the Basseterre High School from 2011 to 2015. I don't have a problem with people asking questions, being concerned. I have a problem when it is convenient. The same people who are asking a lot of questions now about the hypothetical watched when the actual illnesses were taking place. Never asked a question. And a number of them were doctors, divided by the Basseterre High School by a fence. The ambulance used to make trips up there 3 and 4 times in a week. Never a question. People broke out with sores and all kind of things. Never a question. But everybody concerned now conveniently about hypothetically maybe something gonna happen.
Straight Talk family, let's go back to the lines, and I want to thank this caller for holding caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
How are you, Mr. Brown? The man of
I'm not doing too bad for kids. Mr. Liburd.
So.
I had to remind Dr. Martin and Junior Liburd and Sam Kondo on Friday again.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm speaking to you, I have a report here in my hand where I had to inform Dr. Martin and Junior Liburd and the Honorable Sam Kondo on Friday that, as they said the week before, it was those sickness and illnesses and doctors' report are manufactured. I have a report here in my hand, and I read some parts of it where this is a report where the students, teachers, workers at the former Basseterre High School then started complaining 2011. So when Labour were up and down crying and campaigning and saying that it was a political issue, Can't be a political issue when Labour was reigning in government in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and part of 2015. And all those years, students and teachers of the Basseterre High School complained bitterly of itchy eyes. The report here is saying itchy eyes, swelling of the roof of the mouth. Right? He also saying that in those years, 2011, 2012, where the students and teachers complain of mold in every room at the Basseterre High School, then mold and dust. And they complain in the report that the mold and dust was at a number of places in those rooms and an items which was not, hear the words of the report, was not regularly clean. So it cannot be a political issue when it started in 2011. And not only that, right? If they're saying it's a political issue, who make it a political issue? And this report, after all those concerns was complained and lamented to government officials, health officials and things, this report was signed by the former Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Patrick Martin, on the 3rd of March 2014. He acknowledged that these symptoms is happening at the then Basseterre High School in this report, because his signature is at the end of the report. The report is 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page report, right? And having all the things and all the complaints by the teachers and students at the Basseterre High School then. And he signed off on it, acknowledging of these complaints and issues. I had to remind him on Friday.
Well, that's what
then he changed it now and say it's a political issue for so long. Can't be. When he's in 2011, the Basseterre High School staff and students them being complaining, 2012. And we all remember that Nigel Carthy, who was the Minister of Education then, came and told us that the government spent between $7,000, $10,000 or $12,000 then, and they had found the problem in septic tanks and he had repaired them. You remember those talk?
Yeah, but fast forward now to 2023, and what seems to be happening is that you just start to demolish and you're going to start to build. Is that a wise thing to do? Do you think?
But nothing wrong in demolishing, but we must solve that problem there. That's all I've been saying to them. Let us solve the problem.
And find out what are the real issues.
The real issues is that they have to go find those old septic tanks.
All right? Okay. All right.
They have to go.
Yes.
They have to get soil and testing and get people coming.
Okay, that's one way. Okay, but thanks a lot for your input. My lines are going, so I'm gonna have to. Anything final? Any final comment?
Yes, and I am still asking Dr. Ju and Mr. Mikey Martin. We want the numbers of passports. The amount of passports have been sold.
Yes, that's a reason.
And also, we want the top 5 countries that are purchasing our passport.
Okay, thanks for your understanding. Thanks a lot, and I'm sure many would agree with you. Although someone was trying to say it's some national issue. National issue, my foot, as we would say. If we know that these passports are sold, to tell us that you sold 1,000, 10,000, or 30,000. Telling us that does not compromise any national issue at all, my straight off family. Let's go back to the lines at 9:13. Caller, you alive. Hello, caller.
Hello.
How are you, my
Hello?
brother? Why are you sounding like that, sir?
Turn down that signal for me, man. Sorry about that, Patrick.
Yes, you're live. You're live. The whole world is listening to you. The whole world is listening to you. Just talk to the telephone.
I know that. I alone, when I control any phone, I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to be saying that every time, so. Thank you. You sound like Cassius Clay in the days when he banged Sonny Liston. I was listening you to Carl Brown. And I'm very proud of you. You stand your ground. Mm-hmm. Because they were trying to see if they could have trapped you. But you stand your ground with your question and your statement. And I admire you for that. Stand up to it. If they could have painted your mouth with purple lotion to get you hush, they would have done it. But they couldn't get you do. I want to congratulate the lady cricketer from St. Kitts. Because that is in the days, we know we had great cricketers could have made the West Indies side. But for whatever reason, I don't know why they didn't pick them. Even come right down to Victor Eddie's time, they didn't pick nobody from St. Kitts. So the young lady, she is to be admired. And I hope that they don't give her the small island syndrome when it comes to picking up and the Caribbean and the West Indies big team. So congratulations to she. Now let me get patches again. Now, you see why I like straight talk program, because you come with the facts. You don't only say that me say or anybody say. You have our voices saying what you are talking about. So how can they run from that? And that is the reason why they want to shut you down, but they can't do it. Because you have love for your country and love for justice. And you're hands-on for your country. That's the reason why you're still pushing it. You don't have a radio station, but more and more people every week is attaching to your program on this cell phone. So keep it up. I am with you. Now you hear what the engineer said? 1,000 feet down from the aquifer.
Mm-hmm.
And what the amount of money that already spent up there for the preparation of that high school. What happens to that money? And if they are foolish and playing politics with what they're supposed to carry on, because government go, government come. Government is continuous. And what the team unity government left in the pipeline, they are all positive and constructive things for the country. But just because of ignorance in Dr. Joe and his followers, they decided not to continue anything that the former administration leave. For what? Millions of dollars already spent on this site to prepare the school. And what happened? That money going on, so? Money going on, so, but all because he got one thing in his mind, is to waste up the money that he made in the treasury. Raise it up so that whosoever take over when he go, because he going next year, he can't stay in there no longer, that they wouldn't meet no money in it. That is what he has in his head, where he's spending and raising up the money, so. And I'm going to tell you the last thing. The way he is operating, anybody can see, he do not respect God. He has no love for God. And if he had any love for God, he would have loved the country and loved the people and do not treat people like how we're treating them. Take away the 500. I'm going to give you 1,500. And instead of 15, nothing.
Okay.
Anyway, Patrick, let's go. I'm going to come back.
Thank you very much, my dear brother, for your intervention. Good night, Your Excellency, Mr. Liburd reads this email. National Bank will be closed tomorrow from 12 noon to facilitate a training session for staff members. I understand that this training course will be conducted by the Labour Farmer Speaker who used to publicly embarrass Sam Kondo in the House. I read this email. Shouting at him to sit down and shut up, also referring to him as Mumu, stupid and a liar. But I used to feel very sorry for Sam and the painful doggish treatment he was subjected to by the Speaker. But not anymore, because Sam, by his conduct today, has only proved the speaker absolutely correct. However, my concern now is how many thousands of dollars will he be paid, or will be paid to this speaker for just a few hours' work. As a shareholder of the National Bank, I want to know, because the amount I heard is frightening. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. It's 9:18.
Hey, good evening, Patches. How is it?
I am peaceful, my brother. What about yourself?
Equally peaceful, my boy.
Good to hear.
This Old Basseterre High School, known to me as Grammar School.
Grammar School, your alma mater.
That's right.
Yes.
I've listened with interest to Mrs. Carleen Morton, the former headmistress of the same Basseterre High School. She said she had been headmistress for some 23 years. And she was on Win FM last week, and I thought it was Friday. I think it was Friday. But she really took a turn in the the present advisor's backside, because she had correspondence that I don't believe that she was aware that she had, including that letter that Cal Brown just read out a while ago. And she's the one who first exposed this letter, this note, where he always said, where he said before that, they said, repeated again recently, that all reports coming out of this school are manufactured, the people's imagination, and that kind of thing. Remembering too that earlier clock when people started getting sick, he was on TV and radio, and so taking up dirt off the play field, put it in him out and said, the dirt is clean, nothing wrong with it. You know, the school, the play field is on the eastern side, and the problem seems to have been on the western side where the septic tanks were. But Carleen Morton also indicated that in one of the reports, they said that the water coming out of the taps in the school smelled of urine. And now, obviously, that meant nothing to the CMO. Along with that, the ILO, which the government at the time hid from the people for some 6 months. You remember the ILO report, which we didn't know about because the government hid it because it wasn't complimentary. The government got up and mentioned about this gas coming out the ground, hydrogen sulfide, which you can't smell, but it's highly toxic, highly poisonous. And he recommended that the grammar school, the Basseterre High School, was a public health issue. And instructed that the primary school up the top of Victoria Road opposite the Moravian Church must be closed down. Did you remember all of that?
Of course.
Yes, and the CMO playing ignorant. I mean, he's not ignorant, can't be an ignorant man being a doctor, but he's playing ignorant, playing stupid, still trying to fool people in this day and age, both manufactured. And other reports come in, everybody nastying up the place, get up and saying that the school is unhealthy. She went on to say that over 40 teachers who operated out of the staff room of the school went to 16 different doctors for health reasons. And the CMO, he don't know anything about that. Nobody gave him any report on how kind of stupidness. So, it's crazy, man. But in the first place, the doctor would go and mention anything to him because he already came public and said that nothing wrong with the school. So why go to him? He already made up his mind.
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah, he already get up and said, well, I have no interest in anything that's going on up there. Who dead up there, dead, that's their business. And I remember there used to be a teacher, used to be on radio regularly, who obviously had been very sick. I heard on Win FM a few times, complaining about the different problems that she was having. And for a teacher to go on radio and complain, and it makes no difference to the CMO. And he must have known about it too, and come back now and talk about manufactured. Teachers manufacturing illnesses. I mean, a small boy go in school and say you might manufacture illness to get from a test on a particular day. but hundreds of students now going to do that for years.
True.
This is craziness. I mean, saying something like that, the man should lose his license for that. I believe so. I feel very hurt about it. Because we know the school is sick. And recently, I think there was a press conference by Pam, and John L. Powell had spoken about this situation where they were doing some work up at the school recently, doing some demolition, probably doing something to do with the roof or something. So, and I understand the work had to stop because some of the workers got sick. And then he the same CMO, I can call him Dr. Fauci. He said that impossible, that is nothing right and all kind of stupidness, but the work stopped. And then a contractor don't get up and walk off the site unless something's obviously wrong with the site. Just so. Especially if you get him paid. It's crazy. But anyhow,
you're right. You're right. And you know, for a moment, I agonized over this thought, right? And had to be very cautious because perhaps I was saying in the US, perhaps should have gone before the grand jury and be indicted for fraud. You know, medical fraud, or health frauds, or something like that. You know, but I had to be.
I wonder if you had any students in the school who got sick, if you'd have been saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something for him to think about. Anyhow, let me leave some space for others to get through. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thanks for your intervention as usual, my Straight Talk family. And it's 9:24. I go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Caught up in the name of our great African ancestors, especially Queen Nzinga and King Garvey. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
Peaceful, my brother. What about you and yours?
Good, beloved. But, beloved, what is going on in the Federation of Liamiga and Owali, especially pertaining to the Basseterre High School? These people, what? They don't care. What they want to do? Kill our children? Come on. You want to tell me after what went down under the boy from St. Paul's and his evil empire? Okay. Then we had on the PLP. All the studies was done with the new site and everything. That done? You want to tell me no? All that, sure, but how many millions of dollars was done on that site? Quickly, because I got to finish what I come to talk about.
Well, the estimate of 14 million or something in a region for designs and environmental analysis, the EIAs and other sundry minor issues. I think it was.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's EC dollars?
EC dollars, yes.
Okay.
But you see, the public works should really release those figures. I mean, there should be public figures, you know?
It's supposed to be public knowledge,
yes,
you know? Yeah. But,
and sell the country what the money was spent on. Instead of having this political nonsense about money spent on that. The money was spent. I mean, you had to design the school. You have to design it. If he's going back on the old side, he has to do designs, and they cost money.
Yeah, but this makes no sense whatsoever. These people don't care, man. You want to tell me, after all that had our children coming down with all kind of illnesses, diseases, rashes, all kind of things. Nobody knows if these children if they suffer and if they have cancer in their body up to this day or in the future, and you're going to put our children back in the place again? These people don't care. But what I am saying, where are the people? Those who have children and who don't have children, who cares about our children? What? Are they silent? Are they too damn afraid to speak up for our children, for our future? Come on. What's happening to our people? Vast majority, 90-something% of our people in the Federation of Liamiga and Owali. What? They're afraid? Are they being paid to be silent? They don't care? Not because it's not their children not going there, they could send their children here, there, and everywhere. Come on. Stand up, people. Stand up. And whosoever the guy, Farmer CMO, he should be a damn shame of himself to call himself a medical doctor. And the boy from St. Peter should be a damn shame too. Call himself a medical doctor and then all of this come over again. Come on, Brother Patches. This thing is hurting me, man. It's hurting. It's hurting. Why are we allowing this thing to happen? Why? Let me say some majority are letting this thing happen. Come on, our beloved sisters and brothers, young people. It's your future. It's your time. And the elders, come on, stop being aside and don't say anything. Because wickedness will always thrive when good people be silent and don't say anything and don't stand up for your children and your grandchildren and for yourself too. Because anything happen in the Federation is going to affect you immediately and affect those of us who live abroad because we have family members there. And that is our land. That is our land. And we must protect it at any legal cost necessary. Brother Patrick, continue to listen, keep up the great works. Pan-Africanism not first. One love, my beloved brother.
One love, my brother, as well. And thanks always for your intervention.
I experienced other symptoms such as the sores in my mouth after being in the lab for 3 days finishing SPAs. When I returned, the sores were small and came just under my teeth, and they grew slowly until after a while they kind of rested. They kind of almost popped. It's still, the inside of my mouth has like a stringy texture now, as well as my lips. They have this burning feeling that was soon accompanied by almost when someone has a fever and their lip begins to peel. It was almost flaking off. So I just wanted to let persons listening know of the symptoms that students can be experiencing and the fact that these patterns have also been seen.
How can we forget the trauma, my Straight Talk family? And you want to tell me that you're going to just walk back to that site, demolish the buildings, and reconstruct? Don't you want to find out about the health and safety of the environment? Come on, my Straight Talk family. We are an intelligent people, and we ought to act better than that. Take off our political blinders. Take them off. This medical contempt, as I said, demonstrated by Dr. Martin in the face of sound evidence and facts. We cannot allow it to spill over into what just looked like a personal assault towards children, teachers, who suffered for nigh 3 years in what seemed like a ghastly chamber that dispensed nauseating fumes that made them sick. Yes, you're now serving your capacity as medical advisor to the Prime Minister and Minister of Health, which makes one wonder if that's the only way you can justify your thousands of dollars receive from taxpayers' money every month by Straight Dog family. The point was made about the gatekeeping role of doctors in healthcare. And we have to understand that every one of us have a role to play. And we must play that role with ethics and dignity. I too had the pleasure of listening to Mrs. Carly Morton last week read this email, my Straight Dog family. And I was very satisfied with her honesty and truthfulness in her explanation with regards to the Basseterre High School. The several medical reports she spoke of, accompanying or encompassing the one with Dr. Martin, was very astonishing. What she revealed certainly had put Dr. Martin in an indefensible position, and just as I anticipate what he will do, occurred Friday afternoon when he appeared on radio and questioned what was asked of him. What is his response to what Mrs. Morton had revealed? All he could say, I stand by what I have said. That was my prediction, Mr. Liburd, of him, for there was no other way he could have extricated himself from this embarrassment that he has brought upon himself and his medical practice in general. What a disdainful compromise, Patches, this is. Reads this email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller at 9:35, you are live on Straight Talk. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Liburd. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself? How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, straight and direct, man. Tonight, I want to big up the guy called Brown. Mm-hmm. I just want to give him some encouragement and let him know, I just want to thank him for being consistent and, putting his thoughts out there every time. Without a doubt, a stranger listening to these few events about the CLO and the Basseterre High School saga, definitely, man, it ain't nobody could deny it. That CLO or former CLO, he got exposed, bro. He surely got exposed. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it, the proof is there. The lady who spoke, Miss Morton on Win FM that morning, and also your caller, Carl Brown, both of them got the proof. That is what's so significant about this. That's what's so significant about this. These two persons are talking from the evidence and the proof. So guess what? Ain't nobody could deny this stuff, bro. And I'm disappointed with that doctor, bro. But the only reason why, they're getting a pass is because they're just hanging on, man. They're just hanging on to get that salary. But really and truly, it appears to me these guys don't really care about the people. Him being a doctor, no way he should be talking that reckless, man. Persons got sick. And my question to you tonight, man, is what happened to all these persons that got sick? Where is the class action suit? Where is the class action suit? I don't understand how these people don't have the courage and sinkers and Nevis to stand up against this type of stuff. So all those persons who got sick, what became of them, Patches? Can you tell us what became of them? Let your listeners know what became of those persons that got sick. They can't wait till 5 and 10 years down the road. They were sick then. And when you get sick like that, you take an action legally, believe it or not. So those persons who got sick, they need to band together and bring a lawsuit against the government, believe it, and against the education department. I don't know what they're waiting for, what they're waiting for. That's the thing what get me, bro. The people in St. Kitts and Nevis, they don't have no courage. The only thing that can stop them is that if no lawyer on the ground will take such a case. And believe it or not, it wouldn't go past me that they would not want to take a case like that, because the lawyers them there, they act like they're some brotherhood. And different on that, man, I just want to congratulate the young lady who made the cricket team, Jazara Claxton. I just want to give her some support, and wish her the best going forward. But that's my small contribution for the night. Big up Carl Brown again, and you guys have a good night.
Thank you very much for your your small contribution, as you said, with your large content. Thanks a lot for your input, my brother. We go back to the lines. Caller, I thank you for holding your live. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Mr. Liburd. Carl Brown here again. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I would say thanks to all the people who have given me the support, and I'm glad they realize what we are trying to push forward, that we don't have a repeat of 2011 right up to 2015, when that problem was, remedied, but it seems like we want to resurrect the same problem again at the same grounds of the Basseterre High School, and we would not stand for that. We are saying, let us find the problem and let us find a solution to the problem. And as I keep saying, nothing is wrong with the Deputy Prime Minister want to fulfill his main campaign promise, but he must go about it the right way, which is more satisfactory to most of the people in the Federation, satisfactory to all the health organizations around the world, satisfactory to the local health organization, and let us move forward. But we have to get that problem out the way. We don't want to repeat. Question, Mr. Liburd. Where is the Medical Association? Why hasn't they called an urgent meeting discussing what the former CEO has lay out against them, saying that there was no report from them to him because he was the CMO, and all these students and teachers seeing these different over 16 doctors, right? A report must have gone to the CMO, and the CMO must have put himself in the position that he was to get a thorough investigation go out. Because as the CMO of health, you must do that, right? And to hear now, 11 years after, that your former CMO, a member, I will say, still of the Medical Association, I hope so, right? Where is the Medical Association now on this matter? To hear from your former boss saying this about each and every doctor, is telling them that they are lying, they are not competent doctors. This is what he's saying to them. So doctors, we are you to meet. We are the Medical Association to meet on this. And the suggestion, the government keeps saying to them, is building a lot of buildings around the place. And they expect, plus on top of what they have already, they expect public works to do all the work to maintain these buildings and to keep them in top form. It can't happen, Mr. Liburd. I keep telling the different governments that. There are companies, organizations, individual persons out there, give them some subcontract to be maintenance and maintain these buildings. We'll keep away the dust, we'll keep away the mold. We won't have to be jumping and hopping like grasshopper up and down the place every minute paying people rent and things because we can't keep our walls clean.
Okay.
Right? So give out some contracts, right? And we won't have these problems. We won't have another Basseterre High School repeating again.
Thanks a lot for your intervention. Drew went on Juni's station to say that under Team Unity, many people got papers for lands that did not exist. The irony of his statement is that he cannot produce one single name of any person to support his statement. He lied to say investors were knocking him down to come and invest. To date, we are still awaiting to see who they are. He lied when he said he ordered 50 new dialysis machines only for us to learn they were outdated machines donated by some persons. So for heaven's sake, does you think sensible people will accept his lies now? Look what leadership in St. Kitts has come to. Reads this email. And you ask yourself the question when you talk about these lands, because it seemed to really indict the Director of Lands and Surveys, because I can't see any department or any Ministry of Lands issuing lands and not consulting the Director of Lands and Surveys. And is that director so incompetent? Of course not. I know Dwight, and Dwight is highly competent, holds a master's degree in surveying, I think. And what are you saying about the Director of Lands and Surveys? He doesn't know what he's doing, so he will issue lands, he will survey lands in the same area 3 and 4 times? Come on, Dr. Joe. Stop that. Patches subjected to correction. But it seems to me that Dr. Harris was the only member in Parliament that paid tribute to the late Stanley Franks, a man that has given tremendous service to the Federation in numerous ways. Thank you, Dr. Harris. You are a true leader. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. We have been waiting on the Agriculture Minister and his permanent secretary to tell us why a check for $964,000 was paid, and that was earmarked for goat and sheep. This is nearly $1 million. Can Samuel tell us what this project is about, and from when is this farmer associated with sheep and goat? Can Samuel also tell us if that project went out for procurement? Reads this email. How much? Wow. I believe emailers, one has to be careful when you're writing here in terms of calling names and making some statements. I'm not going to read them on Straight Talk unless you can share the information with me beforehand so I can verify that what you are writing here is accurate. Straight Talk is not going to defame or be libelous against anyone. So when these statements are being made, please be certain to get them cleared here at Straight Talk before I read them. And I really apologize for that, but we are not going to accept responsibility for some of the things that are said in these emails. Good night, Patches. Reads this email. The manager and Dr. Martin tried to intimidate Carl, but it did not work. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. Dr. Martin is losing his memory. Documents prove him wrong. The facts are there. You should apologize to the public. Reads this other email. Good night, Patches. Health is in a mess. Dr. Bradshaw, the piano, was run from up CFBC because she don't know how to talk to people and because nobody liked her, but she's now acting like matron at the hospital. She's up there doing all the matron's work instead of sitting in her office and doing her own work. She's promising all of her friends senior nurses and bullying the matron who is more loved and respected than her. Dr. Bradshaw is up here every day trying to micromanage the nurses. It's such a shame, and we have lost all respect for the puppet Dr. Morton, the director, who is letting her do as she likes, making the senior nurses uncomfortable and dividing the staff. She gives nurses trained in Cuba who failed their regional nursing exam over 3 times to new position as registered nurses, and they were appointed nursing assistants. Nursing assistants are just supposed to clean wounds, weigh patients, and give little assistance to the real nurses. They can't give injections or medication. She gave them a red belt, making them registered nurses without them writing or passing any exam. Dr. Bradshaw is mashing up the nursing profession and health. And if you don't pay attention to what's happening, you'll soon be looking at big medical malpractice cases against the government, because nurses in health are not really registered nurses and don't know what they are doing, reads this email. It's 9:48, my Straight Dog family. And you may have joined me late. And in the event you have, I just want to bring you up to date with what we discussed tonight. And our thesis, we titled The Basseterre High School, a ticking public health time bomb. And in the process, we looked at what we call, my Straight Dog family, the issue or issues that relate to a decision to return to the original site of the Basseterre High School without consultation with the people, without doing the necessary analysis. We try to make the point as well that it is said that doctors are gatekeepers of healthcare and are really identified as a cause of its problems within the system. But who would believe that after 11 years, the Basseterre High School saga has not been settled? And the Federation got this stark reminder from a regular caller to most, if not all, the talk shows in the Federation. We know him as Carl Brown. And kudos to Carl Brown, because he reminded the hosts of this talk show that something at the Basseterre High School is not settled. And much to the shock, or our shock and dismay, we were told by the former CMO, Dr. Martin, that there was no problem at the Basseterre High School. And further, we were told that it was a manufactured issue. And Carl Brown was not swayed. And I admired him for that. He was not swayed in the least, my Straight Dog family. And he handled everything exceptionally well, in spite of the ridicule they try to force on him.
Dr. Martin, you really serious saying that today on the radio?
You want me to repeat it in French?
Repeat it in any language, but you cannot be serious with what you just said, dear Dr. Martin.
Oh, so you know something differently then?
Tell us.
If you know something differently, feel free to correct it.
You can't be serious.
No, goodness.
All I'm saying is
you can't be serious. It's not correction.
Let us bring in an organization to test up there before we...
That was already done. That was already done. Three organizations. Local, regional, international.
There is work to be done.
Oh, okay. So you're not accepting the reports. Okay.
I like when Carl said, bring it in any language, but he can't be serious. And it was Lady Morton, former principal of the Basseterre High School, who opined that Dr. Martin was at first being distasteful, and he was either experiencing a crisis of memory or a crisis of credibility. She said this.
Well, Dr. Martin invited the caller, since he knows differently, to say
what he knows. Well, I will take up that challenge because I know differently. And Dr. Martin knows differently too. If Dr. Martin does not know differently, perhaps there's a crisis of memory taking place, or perhaps a crisis of credibility. I really don't know. When I heard the clip, I said, well, the BHS crisis, the conspiracy theorists are back on their campaign. They're trying to mislead, to misinform, and to minimize. Look at the sarcasm you want me to tell you in French, and the laughing in the background and so on.
To me, it wasn't sarcasm, it was condescension. It was somebody that you don't acknowledge their status and academic credential.
And all of that is intended to intimidate people and to shut them down so that a topic that perhaps you want to put to bed. But I can tell you that Basseterre High School situation gripped not just the Basseterre High School, but the entire nation from 2011 to 2014.
And it will grip the nation again. It's already started. Scholar, I really want to apologize. I forgot that I had this line on hold. Forgive me. Forgive me, my dear brother. Forgive me. Or sister. Are you there?
Yes, I am. You are forgiven.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. What's on your
good
mind?
Night, good night, everyone, one and all the listeners who are hearing this matter that is urgent. As I listened some of the arguments tonight in respect to that Basseterre High School, a problem arises from curiosity and healthiness. And as it is said, your health is your wealth, and you've got to protect that wealth. And if there are such curiosity, what is hard in doing a thorough investigation and to bury that kind of tension once and for all, rather than to be reckless, to break down and rebel, and then perhaps you make a mistake twice. I mean, government is continuous, and obviously this problem probably been lingering on for a while. And whosoever inherit that issue, they should try to resolve it than to ignore it. And all the negativity that is in the mix right now, I think prevention is better than cure, and they should take serious consideration to get this thing right. But I have observed government don't like when they have opposition because they don't take care of the people. Okay? Once they stick on an issue and the argument, they maintain adamancy. And the adamancy, you cannot be wrong and strong. And that's what I have observed. Any problem in St. Kitts going up against the government, they never want to condone. They never want to condone. And I'm a living witness. They will make you go around the world and still no solution. And I'm going to call out the lawyers. No lawyers is listening to these matters to challenge what's happening and what happened to the doctors. They are making a challenge about this matter. This involves doctors, this involves lawyers, this involves everyone. But you know something? St. Kitts people, they don't like to go up against the government. Okay? The government cannot be wrong and strong. And people fear is they go against the government. And it's not even go against the government. They're doing the right thing. They feel like they're going to lose their job. They feel like they're going to be politically whammed. And so on and so on. That fear is not a fear to fear. The fear that you all have is you all fear itself. You all fear. Stop being cowards and step up for the right thing. That is my advice to people and to empowerment.
Okay.
Be afraid of the government because you are the government. You all are the one who make the government. You all are the one who the government has to be obligated to. Cut the fear out. There is no fear. And if you lose your job because you speak out for the right thing, just like that, that's discrimination. There are consequences for discrimination.
Okay.
The government is not immune. But I will come back again. The thing what I wanted to come in with is not this, but I wear my support on this thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I trust you'll come back on Thursday because I'll just take 2 more calls. Caller, are you there? Hello, caller.
Yes, Patches, I hear, you know. And I want me callers them to know, I want me fans them to know, Jam down here. We here.
Yes,
Patches.
yes, Jam down. How are you?
I hear a House of Assembly. Where that in advertisement, I hear nothing about that. But anyway, I get a little piece with the real Prime Minister. Oh my God, that boy sounds like a real Prime Minister. He understands these things. And don't care what they do, you know. The people of this country will put back him right here. Because he's better than them. But I want to talk about something real. It's troubling. You know, Rock dead gone. And he had a bar down there where his daughter is operating. But since Rock deceased, they operate the bar. Well, all of a sudden, why they don't want to renew the contract? It look like the special interest looking at it. The special interest want it. You see how these people behave? Just like Jaya Clark with land, petitions get land from a Prime Minister. But when Jaya Clark tonight, you know, Timothy born here, just like how you born here. You understand? And he got the right to give anybody land without anybody coming behind him to challenge anything and spoil people who ain't labor. Jaya, behave yourself, you know, because that shoes there where that man is wearing bigger than you. If you know what is good for you and you want to be in the political world, you better go and ask a question. Because I don't sound like pigeon in a cage in the National Assembly. Anytime they go there, oh, the farmer this, the government run the country. Anyway, you turn in think it's people that talk about Dio. Come on, we are the customer this. For 7 years, we watch a government run this country. Decent. He never saying, oh, don't be this and don't be that. He realized he's the Prime Minister and he run this country. That's it. It look like they even lock up in the cemetery in a dead box. They look like they want to show spoil. That is nonsense. I know something good.
Okay.
Look the amount of people, Patches, 3 years come down the port showing me that they're suffering people and they paid money and land. And the land. Because they get the land from Timothy, they don't want to have a Jaya Clark tell the port, the treasury do not take the money. They don't go by the place over there by FND. Jaya, behave yourself, you know. Behave yourself. Behave yourself since it's a labor one, you know. Because you look like you feel so. This pompousness in you got it done with them things in younger girl.
Okay.
I really thought you with this one, but girl, I don't know, boy. I don't know. Patrick, you have a good night. This is Jam Down.
Have a good night, my dear brother Jam Down. Really running out of time, and I'm going to take 2 more calls for tonight. Let's go back to caller. Are you there? Hello, caller.
Hi, brother Patrick. Good night.
Yes.
How your night is going?
Peaceful, my dear brother. Ras Aya. Peaceful. What about your night?
Well, I'm just here, just coming from the St. Paul's area, having to put my great uncle to rest today. And my auntie by my mother's side passed off yesterday morning, so I have another loss in my family by my mother's side now.
Okay, well,
so I just like to say, yeah, give thanks and love and honor. I just tune into your program, and I know you're going to close off now, but I would like to make some indication on what I heard your last 2 clips you play with Carl Brown and the former principal of the Basseterre High School. And when I look at the entail of what was taken within those two discussions, especially Cabo and Dr. Martin within grounded with our brothers and sisters and Freedom FM, I find these things are being hideous, especially when you look at 7 years ago, there was a mount against that there will be a new brand multi-purpose high school. And up to now we can't see that. And this new administration still cannot bring a detail in enhancing a new complex school for the students then. So me would like to ask, why is it that over the time what the former principal just outlined from since 2011 to 2014 were some health matters applying within that area of the Basseterre High School, and to these grounds we still cannot find what they say was endangering to the children, and I talk without any fear because nothing what these people outline have been a justice to the call, not a justice. So really and truly, both administration is playing tick for tack with a bomb against the Basseterre Senior School establishment under the former administration of Denzel Tiffin Douglas and under the former administration.
No, Rasaya, I can't accept that. I mean, I'm really surprised that you make a statement about
my apology for making the statement, but these things are outrageous.
But please, I mean, I would like to withdraw the statement first because
well, I just said that apologizing.
Okay, well, please, thanks a lot, man.
Well, it's outrageous to see Denzel Douglas and Timothy Harris, and then now you have Dr. Jew. None of them have set the ball right for the Basseterre Senior School, not one of them. So all of them fairly train them. And even the principal who are there fairly train them. Y'all are just looking to get paid and looking to be right for the standard of our educational system. That's why we got to train them acting like this up to this day. Y'all ain't serious about how we're going forward with this educational status quo. We're supposed to see a brand new school from since under the former administration. Now this one you come in there, you know what they're doing. I don't know how we got politics leading things and the Caribbean and the world, Okay. You all need to be in jail. And that's how you're stating and not hiding behind the corner to say it. Okay. All who formulate this gangsterism towards the school, providing and talking about school children were getting sick. Not even one of them, as the brethren say, where is the lawyer and the doctor in this year where the matters occur in this situation? Okay. Not even one of them will come out and speak, and they say they're intelligent people. I'm not intelligent, they're revolutionary. So that's what me and say. You have a blessed night, my brother.
Have a blessed night, my dear brother. And I want to thank you for rescinding. I want to thank you for withdrawing that statement. And I know we get emotional on these talk shows, and especially Straight Talk is a show that keeps you on the edge because we bring you the truth, but let's just try to be cautious in the things we say and think before we say them. But I'm happy that you apologize, my dear brother. That shows a sign of maturity. I'll perhaps take 2 more calls. If these callers will be guided by the rules of brevity, I'll take this and make this my penultimate call. I will give you 30 seconds, and if you agree, perhaps I'll give you 40 seconds, caller.
Yeah, okay. I am glad you're giving me 40. Now, Patches, before the election, Dr. Drew was campaigning about freedom of public information. Well, we still want to know what has happened to the ambassador to the United Nations, because some kind of spiderweb information or answers been coming up from him, and he's not talking the truth. And remember, the ambassador said she's gonna open her mouth. Don't let she open her mouth. And it is said from him that she has returned to the job, but then she's on vacation. Some lying going on between them. Some lying. And you know what happened to him? He overpromised when he was campaigning. Because he was so much after Dr. Harrison.
But did he say that she returned to the job, or he said she returned for consultation and was on vacation?
Well, he said he would call her for consultation.
Yeah, but he didn't say she returned to the job, right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you remember that. Now, let me go to Mr. Samuel Duggins. The agriculture farmers, they've been crying out for all kind of problems. And before he helped to solve the people in problem, Kashrai Tweed is one been asking for water to be dug up where he's ground. And before he respond to those things, he going to talk about building art cultural center up there on the water where the water aquifer is. Where you going to get the money from to build that? Why don't you concentrate on the present issues that we have? Leave that, because they don't want to build the school up there, but he wants to go up there to build art cultural center. Anyway, you say about 5 seconds, so thank you.
Thank you.
He ain't long enough for me to talk, but I'll see if we go get in some other time.
Yes, thanks for your understanding, my brother.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. And if your fingers are, what word I must use? If your fingers are, let's say, efficient, perhaps you'll I'll be able to get in one more call before I wrap. But tonight, my Street Dog family, as I conclude tonight's programming, those who may have joined me late, our thesis, the Basseterre High School, a ticking public health time bomb. We spoke of the medical contempt demonstrated by one Dr. Martin in the face of sound evidence and facts. We, in our introductory remarks, made the point about the gatekeeping role of doctors in healthcare. And one may argue that the duty of doctors is exclusively left or relates to individual patients. And in this context, we looked at the case of 6 students then at the Basseterre High School. Lots came out and questions were asked of what has become of these students. But in the case of Dr. Martin, we made the point as well that he was the government-paid chief medical officer. And worse yet, he still is paid by the taxpayers. Because since the change of administration in August 2022, he either came out or was invited out of retirement and is paid thousands of dollars by Dr. Jew as some special advisor to the Minister of Health. And for those reasons, and in the gatekeeping context, it has become quite clear that the trust-based relationship between the students and teachers who were obviously fallen ill at the Basseterre High School, also the trust-based relationship between the parents and Dr. Martin has been completely eroded by his paid position and his party politics. And sadly, whenever we discuss the lack of credibility and distrust, our political leaders come quickly to mind. And I want to say, as I said earlier, that some of us, including myself, respected Dr. Martin over the years. And as I said on a talk show I used to host, he was the voices doctor to me. You must remember that. A telephone call away, and he was there. Because we liked what seemed back then his honest and straightforward attitude and utterances. But we are all puzzled by his recent reckless statement that seemed so wrong and or mistaken about the Basseterre High School issue. In this issue, Dr. Martin was way off base. And many wondered whether he is this academic as he professes to be, or is he a genius simply trying to distract his opponents? All doctors, we made the point, are bound by the Hippocratic Oath. And this oath is an ethical code attributed to the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates, which was adopted as a guide to conduct by the medical profession throughout the ages and still used in the graduation ceremonies of many medical schools all over the world. And various versions of this code have been handed down through generations of physicians. And even as we speak, the oath still includes promises to give sound health advice, and doctors pledge to refrain from causing harm or hurt. Also to live an exemplary personal and professional life. The confident and forceful statement advanced by former principal Carly Morton about the crisis in credibility should force us all to examine the root causes of this credibility crisis. Because when all trust in each other is gone, civilization goes with it. My Straight Dog family, we talk about building resilience, a sustainable island state. But no one person can do it alone. We rely, for example, on civil engineers whom we trust to have the expertise, although we have a cabinet of experts. But we need these expertise to build out and maintain our infrastructure. We need our farmers to grow our food, our teachers to educate our children, and we rely on doctors to heal our sickness. But what can we do when that trust is gone? We must understand that our democratic system must be one that values everyone. Everyone must have a point of view, not just those in the political majority or those that subscribe to a preferred ideology. Back then, with the relocation of the Basseterre High School, Team Unity had public consultation on this very important issue. And decisions were made based on science and not party politics. Joe likes to talk about science. Why is he making this decision to relocate or to go back to the old site? It's just politics. Millions of dollars were spent by both Labour and Team Unity to relocate the Basseterre High School. A site was selected based on the advice of 5 or 6 trained water and civil engineers who served in different administrations over the years, in some cases under PAM NRP, under Labour and under Team Unity. Advice came locally and from foreign environmentalists and hydrogeologists, along with many other stakeholders. And as I said before, and I will part with this same statement, that ironically, the current water engineer and manager of the Water Services Department, Cromwell Williams, is the only trained and experienced hydrogeologist in government. And he said this about the site that was selected at Pond's Estate. He said this.
Our advice to the cabinet was that Given that the Ponds Estate site is at least 1,000 feet downstream of the closest well, which is designated well 148, and furthermore is in an area of the Basseterre Valley which was never used for potable water extraction and is very unlikely to be used for potable water extraction, coupled with the use of modern wastewater technology, this site does not present a danger to the potable water supply.
It was clear. And call, I see this number going, but yes, my straight dog family, there are so many buildings that are in proximity to the site for the Basseterre High School at Ponds Estate that Team Unity approved upon the advice of the experts. So many buildings, my straight dog family. The current Minister of Education, Jeffrey Handy, lives just next door. He lives across the road from that site, my straight dog family. The other commercial buildings in the area right next door as well. Coors Wholesale and TDC, my straight dog family, and other commercial activities in the area as well. They're all there. But it is the politics, my straight dog family. It is the politics of Labour and Team Unity that keeps getting in the way. And I ask you, who in his or her right mind could think about just demolishing the old buildings and reconstructing the Basseterre High School on its original site? Put your politics aside and respond objectively. And you'll say, only a slow student, only a doctor who graduated from a university that he did not attend, my straight dog family, only a slow student who is miraculously our Minister of Education would do that.
Look at me, comrade. I told you how I started off as a slow student. I went to 1A4, 2A4, 3G7, 4G6, 5th Farm, 5G6, and guess what? I repeated. So I was in school for quite a while. But look at me today. Bachelor's in psychology with a minor in social work. Masters of education. Another master's degree in political and organizational psychology. And I would have been in a program for quite a while, since 2005, I'm not ashamed. And in 2016, I was offered the opportunity of getting a PhD.
A PhD from a school you never attended, but only a slow student would reconstruct any building on a proven contaminated site without a thorough soil and environmental analysis and without dialogue with the youths, their parents, and of course, the teachers, administrative staff, and the wider community. My straight dog family, in several ways, the manner in which the Jew Labour administration has acted since assuming office in August 2022 reflects a sense of the apostles' prophecy of the end times, when people would heap up teachers for themselves who will teach them things they want to hear instead of the truth. His warning is very similar to Isaiah's prophecy, describing people who only want to hear things smooth to their taste, even if what they hear is ultimately untrue. I therefore conclude that reconstruction of the Basseterre High School on its original site may appear to be a responsible policy decision by this government. It may attract some support in the short term, but only political support, because in the fullness of time it can prove to be the most imprudent decision that was ever made, my Straight Talk family. And I submit, in closing, that unless there is a consultative process that includes all stakeholders, education, health, environment, social development, water, services, sustainable development, and public infrastructure, to name a few, although not exhaustive. Also a full, complete, and independent scientific analysis that is far removed from politics, my Straight Talk family. Unless that is done, I'm afraid, my Straight Talk family, but the truth must be told. The Basseterre High School could be a ticking public health time bomb. And that's my story tonight, and I'm not going to change it. My lines are going, but my Straight Talk family, I'm out of time. And I must thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. And as always, I want to thank you, the callers. I want to thank you who sent emails and those who listen on my social media pages on YouTube and Facebook. Share the link. Tell the world about this. We come back God's will, or if it's the will of God, on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. But remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for